Try doing this Facebook Live. There's a few people that are not able to come, so the camera is literally just on the agenda, so it's not in anybody's face. We'll see how it goes, and we know somebody that's not here that normally is, so she is hopefully watching and will be able to give us feedback if it was good or worth it.
You mentioned that the people watching we won't be able to answer questions as like if they're typing in until after. I don't know if they were able to hear me say that, but
We have one person watching. So for you watching, we cannot answer your questions live, but we'll go back through after and answer any questions that you have. See how it goes.
All right, so we wanted to quickly go around the room and introduce yourself. If you can tell us who you are, and if you have children in the building, what grades they're in. Okay, let's start.
Kalpana Lennox, and I'm the librarian, so all of the kids are my kids.
Yeah,
Cute.
Jill Rodiger. I teach kindergarten, but I also have a 4th grader here.
Karen Petoniak, I teach 1st grade. And my partner, Kathy Zigrelli, would have been here, but she actually came last night instead. She was actually early, so she's here in spirit.
Mike Hudson, I have 2 kids, Derek and Emily, and they're in the 4th and 1st grade.
Luke Kaler, I have 2 kids, and one in 1st and one in 5th.
Colleen Kaler, I have 2 kids, one in 1st and one in 5th.
Danielle Hudson, I have 1 in 4th, 1 in 5th. 1st. It's a blur. Yep, we're going with that.
Stephanie Knapp, I have a 1st grader.
Lori Beretta, I have a 4th grader.
Cindy Smith, I teach 3rd grade.
Penny Hauser, Nicholasville.
Jennifer Drop, my son's in kindergarten. Jennifer Roberts, I have a 5th grader, a kindergartner, and I'm also the PTO communications chair.
And I'm Melissa Mannix, and I have a kindergartner, and I'm your box tops coordinator.
I'm Grace Nicholas, and I have 1 in 1st and 1 in 4th. And I'm the secretary. Forgot that. That's important.
I'm Leslie Zimmerman. I have 1 in 3rd, and I have 1 in pre-K, and I'm the treasurer.
And I'm Linda Bashatsky, and I teach 2nd grade. I have a daughter in 5th, and I'm vice president, acting president at this point. So I was going to turn it over. We'll try to stick right to the agenda so we can be out of here at 7. I know Melissa Kringer, the art teacher, graciously offered to do childcare tonight, which was really wonderful. She's doing a fun art night, so that's cool. And I'll turn it over to Jen Roberts to talk about the fun run. I'm going to start circulating a sign-up sheet. If anybody wants to sign up to help with tally marks and anything like that, it's coming around.
Okay, so by now I would hope everybody has received their packets that we sent home to the classrooms. They have the pledge envelope with the form pasted to that, and then there were flyers with information about how it's going to run, the prizes that they're eligible for, and a letter begging you to participate. There was also on the pledge form a link to your child's online page. You can use it or not, but it's really, I mean, so far it's really doing very well. If you have friends or relatives in other parts of the country, it's really easy for them to hop on there and make a donation. Last I checked tonight, it was up to, I believe, $970. So that's pretty good for just having it up for a couple of days. The envelope donations, I know people are probably working hard on that as well. And they will factor in once the deadline passes. Once we get all those envelopes in, we can plug them into that website as well. So that counts towards the students' totals. They'll get full credit for all of that, and then we'll be able to see the big picture, how much we raised overall. So far so good. I'm really pleased with how that all came together. As far as the run itself, we will be doing it during gym classes. That way the kids aren't pulled out of their regular classroom in order to do a fundraiser. That's against policy anyway. So Coach Darkandis is going to make it fun for them. He said it's going to be some kind of an obstacle course. One of the frequently asked questions I'm getting is, how many laps do you think the kids will run? Which is very understandable because you don't want to be trapped donating, you know, a couple $100. Unfortunately, this being our first year, it's kind of an experiment we don't really know for sure. I've done my best to try to guess based on the dimensions of the gym. We couldn't really do it outside because the weather is iffy this time of year. So on the online pages, I'm using 30 as a guesstimate. We have these lap cards that the kids will be given for the run. They cap out at 40, so I'm thinking we'll probably just, if they go above 40, or we might just even cut them off. So probably no more than 40. If worse comes to worse, you know, you could always tell people if they get in over their heads, feel free to change their donation. We won't hold them to it. I'm not going to send them to collections or anything. And if in doubt, we always accept the flat donations too. In fact, a lot of people prefer that, just to be able to say, here's $20. That's what a lot of people are doing online. So we appreciate any little help we can get. As far as the volunteers that we need, we're hoping to get 4 per gym class. I can be there, I think, pretty much every time. But what we need you for is to mainly do these tallies. So the kids will have these around their neck. I've made these so that they can't strangle themselves. If they're tied so that the paper would just rip, so they're safe. They would hold them up, and then the parent volunteer would just check off with a washable marker, so we're not sharpieing anyone's shirt or anything. And then it'll be really quick to count up at the end. Once that's done, we'll bring the volunteers over to total everything up, so we know how many laps the kids did. They can put that on their pledge sheets at home. We also plan to do a free photograph of every single kid, so we're hoping to have a nice backdrop of some sort. We'll take a picture and print them out, and then every single kid that participates, whether they get a donation or not, they get a nice picture. So it's kind of a nice thing. So that's what we need the volunteers for. You can volunteer for any slot. It doesn't have to be your child's class. Obviously, we understand you probably want to do your child's class, but if you are free and could help with other time slots that aren't filled in, feel free to do that as well. And we really appreciate the help. I think that was all I had on, if anyone had any questions, that was all I had to cover.
All right, Melissa, box top.
As far as box tops, I've got several boxes out in the community. So far, Oneida Housing Authority has been our best place. I've gotten 12 from them. Walmart and Lowe's cannot have box tops at their place, so we don't have one there. Caring Kitchen is going to collect tops for us, but said we don't need to put a box there. Colonial Laundromat, the Y, and the library all now have box tops, collection boxes there. Hipster Cafe is allowing us to put one on their counter, so I need to get one over there. So that's kind of where they stand in the community right now. For the first collection we did, 33 students total submitted box tops. So I've done the drawing for the grade winners. Do you want me to announce who they are now, or you want me to just, it doesn't matter. So kindergarten was Grace David, first grade was Rowan Pataki, second grade was Elena David, third is Azrael Papke, fourth is Maddox Miller, and fifth is Griffin Hatch. So those kids will all get a prize for collecting. I'm very open to suggestions on how we should proceed for the next time. The next collection will be in March. Our submission, I guess, will be March 1st. So, you know, if we think that sheets and taping them to a sheet is better, which I think is what most people I've talked to have kind of said, I'm more than willing to go that route. So far, what we did mail out, we have $686.50 coming to us from box tops. So that will be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then my only other thing is that I'd like to try to find more ways to reach parents and people. So.
Do you know or have a list of what items box tops are on?
If you go to Box Tops for Education, there is a list right on the, there's a tab to click on that says providers or people that participate or whatever, and there's the whole, I mean, it's huge.
I might be able to put that on our website too.
Sure.
If they have like a PDF or something.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can
That'd
do
be
that.
great, or even a link to it or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yep.
And if you get those names to me, we can announce those kids on the morning announcement.
Yes, that was what I was going to ask you. Thank you. Yes, I would love to do that.
Can I just go back to the fun run very
Mhm.
briefly. I
Yep.
just went online to check, and we are at 1,020 tonight, so we've
That's good.
crossed that 1,000
Still getting a little bit more each
threshold,
night.
which is good, so I'm happy about that.
Yep.
I have a question about that. So is this something that you guys totally came up with on your own, or is it sponsored with someone?
The fun run itself? Well, it started out, this is something that a lot of schools are starting to do because, unlike a catalog fundraiser or other fundraisers, the vast majority of the money stays at the school, so it really is like a direct donation thing, and they seem to have a lot of fun with the event. We initially looked into having a company. There's a variety of companies that provide the services. They take care of everything. They set up obstacles, they do assemblies, all kinds of stuff. They take a big cut, but it's kind of worth the money. But apparently, and I believe it's because of the New York State Board of Regents, as an outside company, they cannot pull kids from class, so they won't operate in our area. But we were really, we were so excited about the idea that we thought, well, you know, could we pull this off ourselves? And there are a lot of different opinions on people like, no, you're crazy, you need like 1,000 volunteers. But the more we looked into it, we found a lot of local schools similar in size to ours that do it themselves. They keep it simple, and they make a decent amount of money doing it. They've done it year after year, so we decided to give it a try. And so we are doing it all on our own, pretty much. We are using 99 Pledges online, which is a service that kind of tracks things and processes credit cards and PayPal for us, so that makes it a lot easier in that regard.
No, it's a really good idea because then we don't have to outsource a lot of the
Mhm.
money that we're making.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, Mrs. Lennox, book fair.
Oh, it's me already.
It's you.
Okay. Well, we kind of have like a book fair part 1 and part 2 because we're doing the preview of the book fair before Thanksgiving. So like the Monday before Thanksgiving is the book fair setup, and pretty much all day the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, all the students except for 2 classes will be previewing the book fair. So like we would need help on Monday for the setup and help on Tuesday to help some of the grades preview. So like the only grades I'm asking for help is like K and 1, because at this point of the year they're not really great at writing, so we pretty much write the books for them that they want, and we do cut them off like 3 or 4 books per person, so we're like not going crazy. And then when we come back, the week we come back we'll be purchasing, and on Wednesday when we have the half day we'll have evening hours, so when parents are coming in for the conferences they'll be able to buy books. And we do this through Scholastic, and with Scholastic you have a choice. You have a choice of taking Scholastic dollars, but if you take Scholastic dollars you can only buy things from their catalog. But if you take money from them you can spend it on whatever we need, but the problem is you have to hit a certain threshold in order to take money, and even for last year I seriously missed it like by $60 or something before I could have taken cash. But I mean I feel like this year is more of a need, and my goal is if we make enough money to fund author visit, because most author visits I mean, it's really variable because it depends on where the author lives, because you have to factor in travel expenses, and then some authors cost a lot more than others, and then it also depends on if you're going to do a half day for the author or a full day. And right now, like so far, North Broad and our school are interested in author who's really fun. He writes sciencey things that go along with fiction, that goes along with the STEAM initiative. His name is Matt McGillicuddy, and he's a professor in Albany, and he costs, to be honest, I'm not gonna put a number out there because I don't remember. We were trying to find out estimates last year, but then he got too busy because he has to present according to his college schedule. But from what I was brainstorming with Scholastic, they were estimating that we need to sell about $5,000 worth of books in order to get roughly the amount of money we need for the author visit. And last year we were really low with the selling. We sold like 2,500, but most years I've been able to sell like a little under 4,000. So I'm hoping that if we put a little bit more PR and awareness out about it, that we can kind of reach close enough to 5,000 that it will make it worthwhile. And maybe if we don't even hit that mark, we can try to see if by that time PTO will be a little bit more healthy to help out.
When we get the Scholastic, I guess, order forms home, does that go towards it as well? It's only at the book fair?
It's only at the book fair, yeah, because what the teachers do with the Scholastic clubs is completely different. They get like classroom points or something. I don't even see that stuff. It would be nice if it would all be part of a building initiative, but the companies tend to be a little tricky because it doesn't pay. It doesn't pay for them to put it all together.
The monthly Scholastic book orders, the teachers get points, and a lot of times teachers will purchase books for the classroom, or sometimes will purchase books as gifts for the children. So, yeah, the more you order, works out, yeah.
Can I give a suggestion on the book fair? Do you have like evening hours for the book fair?
Just the one for the
Parent-teacher conferences.
yeah, November 28th is the half day. So, Penny, are we here till like 6 or something?
4:30 to 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, if you work and it's hard,
Yeah.
that would be the time when you'd want to come with your
Yeah,
kids.
every book fair I always include an evening event. In fact, I don't schedule the book fair unless there's an evening event
Yeah,
because
that
then
makes
like
sense.
I can't be at the book fair and conducting a evening event, so I try to coincide it.
Thank you. Is the author Matt McElligott, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to publicize the night hours to the people who have already gone to parent-teacher conferences, just in case they want to come?
Yeah, I haven't, we still have time, so I haven't written the letter yet. In fact, we only got the Scholastic flyers like yesterday, so now I can start to, put the letter and, the flyers together. And it just took me a while to do up the schedule because I was trying something new this year. I was, trying to do everything by Google Docs and have all the teachers sign up through Google Docs. So it's been a lot of fun. The teachers have been great about coming together and doing stuff on Google Docs. More organized than usual.
Anything else, Colton? No? Okay. All
But
right.
yeah, if people could sign up, that would be really great.
All right, Leslie,
All
treasurer's
right.
report.
So you guys should all have your treasurer report in front of you. We started off the month with just over $3,000. The first few were just donations that are on there as income. The recovery room raffle, that's what we got from the restaurant fundraiser night when we did the raffle. Boo Bingo went very well, and I have no idea what the Coca-Cola one is for.
The Coke machine in the teacher's room.
Okay. So we're ending the month with just over $4,000.
Leslie, I talked to the recovery room, and for whatever reason, they never put the check in. She apologized profusely
Okay.
and said it will be cut on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Correct, will be Monday.
And you said it was about 4 weeks or 6 weeks, something like that for Outback.
I don't have a total yet.
That's okay.
She's out of town, so she's gonna get in touch with her. I'll get in touch with her in
Okay.
a couple of days when she gets back to find out what we should be
Get
expecting.
from that. Okay, awesome. So at least that's more income for November.
Mhm.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, the Coke money, is that usually to PTO?
I thought that was
No,
sunshine.
that's sunshine money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
well, then
teacher
it will go to
organization.
Sunshine.
We'll give it back.
I-
We didn't
I
know.
was looking for a check at one point, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
They
So,
just hadn't cut
we
the
didn't know
check.
where it went, so.
Who do I write the
We
check
had no
to?
idea. Let's give them a
Seneca Street Sunshine,
Perfect,
yes.
that works.
Sorry.
No,
It's okay.
that's great.
It's not a big deal.
Someone
And-
hands us money, we're like, oh, but we
What's
didn't.
sunshine?
It's the teachers' organization, so if we have, accidents, deaths,
that's fine, we'll just take
birthdays,
that.
or not birthdays, births,
Weddings.
it's
Oh,
our
that's
way
neat.
of supporting each other
Mhm.
in cards
That's
and
nice.
things like that,
Love
so
that.
Perfect.
it's our,
Who do I give it to?
you give it
You?
to me.
Okay,
Yeah,
just wanna make
that's
sure.
fine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
sorry,
for
that
letting
sounds
me
good.
know.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
I don't get any money.
No, that's fine.
We were surprised. We're like, what is this?
I bet.
And it doesn't say on the check either. I was
No,
like,
it's like a
all
discount.
right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the money, Coke.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know.
All right, winter social.
Okay, this year, since we decided we will not be showing a movie, we decided, we talked about getting Bogartis to do something, to perform, and they're very interested. We just haven't connected on, she needs to check out her schedule,
Okay.
but they really wanna be part of it, so I'm hoping that'll happen. Grace had a really cool idea to contact the choir, the high school choir, to see if they would come and sing some Christmas carols, and maybe
Mhm.
we could do a sing-along. We're hoping still to get, we need a Santa, we do have the outfit, but, we do not, have a volunteer. So, but we're hoping to, I have a bunch of Christmas trees that I could bring in,
Mhm.
and then at the end, if PTO would like them, they can use them.
Okay.
If not, then I was thinking maybe we could give them to families that might need them. There are like, I think 3 or 4, artificial trees.
Mhm.
They're used, but
Mhm.
they're free.
There's some in the basement too. There's
Yeah, teachers
two
have, yeah, usually
of those
teachers
are-
have.
So I was thinking
But
we
they might
could make
not.
just like a cool place with a bunch of Christmas trees with the mailbox for the letters for
Mhm.
Santa. And if we get Santa, we can have Santa there and, possibly the 5th graders dressing as the elves that we talked about. They could just wear red and green or something and, not like they have to get something elf outfit.
And Colin, who's the performer? What do they?
The Bogartis Performing Arts Center,
She does all of the theater for the high school and the middle school. She's the director for all those.
So would she?
so I have to talk to her to see what they can do, but I was thinking, like, if they can do some kind of act out a story, or, I don't know what she would be thinking, so, we have only connected through messages, we haven't actually spoken, so, but that's what I was thinking, like a reader's theater type thing, or something where, instead of having a movie, it would just be, like a short thing that the kids could watch.
She's done Nutcracker before.
Right.
We do. We do Nutcracker every year, and this year she's opened it up to the community. So that's going to kind of play into figuring out what we can do. But I'm sure she'll reach out to you now because they just got done with the play. The middle school was doing their play, so
Mhm.
We'll be done
She
the
said she was
16th.
very
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah.
She just had to check,
Mhm.
try to see
Yeah.
if she could work it in.
Okay.
We also talked about doing like either ornament or wreath decorating contest, similar to the pumpkins
Mhm.
decorating. We're gonna have the reindeer food. One thing we were wondering about, the basket raffle that we talked about, is that something we can or can't ask parents to donate for, like we have in the past?
How has I don't know how has that worked
In the past, we've had, like, Danielle, how did we do it? We had like,
Well, it's been a few years since we've done it, but they used to send home like a letter with each class, and
like
in
a
the
theme.
past, like each grade had a theme, and they did like a boys basket and a girls basket.
I think we talked about that a little bit
It was
at
like
the
small
first meeting,
trinkety
right?
type things,
About
like-
the teachers' feelings on having
baskets or no?
A little, but the only negative to that was that a lot of teachers had to go out and spend the money themselves to fill it because there were only like 3 items that came in for their class. And I remember like some classrooms had a lot, but some had like maybe like 3 items. So then we felt like, we got to go out and buy the. You didn't want to hand in a basket with 3 items.
Yeah, I was the year that Jen Cassette and I did it was 2 or 3 years ago when I hosted the winter. Like we fluffed it out of our pockets with the help of like the PTO board. Like they donated a purse, the PTO board did, but we just kind of fluffed and added like if somebody brought in something, we bought like cookies or something to go with it, like small stuff. More for the kids. Like it's never like a big draw for the adults type of thing, but just.
I mean,
fun for
if
kids.
worse came to worse, another way to do it would be to go through our, on our website, we have a list of past sponsors, and maybe hit up some of the ones that did our, basket raffle last year, and.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what you guys had used for the fun run, so I didn't wanna like
Yeah,
double
it should
dip
be on
into
the flyer,
anything.
like what we've gotten, we really didn't go all out like we did last year, so there are quite a few that we didn't
That you
ask
didn't touch
again,
too,
so.
so.
Feel free, it's on there under, I think, business partners on the website, so.
Okay.
And then maybe instead of like something per class, do like a couple per the whole building, that way like
I thought about that
whatever you
too.
donate, you don't have, it's not like the class has to do
Specific.
it. You
Yeah,
look
just
at everything and
It's a
Just
good
say
idea.
donate anything and then at the end see what you have and how much you can make of it.
That's a good
You
idea.
know, we end up with 2
Yeah.
baskets, one for a girl, one for a boy, and 4, like instead of just.
It's a good
Or
idea.
some
do-
item suggestions to send in and then we'll just see what.
Yeah, just say, you know,
The
would you
teachers can
send
put them in
in?
a central location and you guys can go through and see what you got.
I would hate for the teachers to feel they need to buy.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, no.
And I would caution going out into the public again, cause I know that we've got the, breakfast for with Santa, they're trying to get money and, going to the same businesses, everybody's getting kinda tapped and, I don't know.
That was kind of my
Seems
thought, like we're kind of like
yeah.
a little late to jump into all of that,
Yeah.
but.
And you have multiple schools doing multiple things and other agencies too, so. Yeah, I like reaching out for small things and putting them in a place and,
Then just
and then building what you have from what
Yep.
you
Even if
get
it's
and
just a couple,
generate
it'll
a
be fun
list
for the kids.
of fun
Yep.
things
Maybe you
and then
could
see where it
ask
goes.
if a family wants to sponsor their own basket, you may have
Well,
families.
that happened before too, like, I know Diane Farina made like pet baskets, cause she has like vet connections. We have one parent that was a masseuse who donated like a massage gift
Yeah.
certificate. So we may get things just
Yeah.
from that angle,
Yeah.
but otherwise, even if we just did like winter wonderland theme and somebody sent a box of hot chocolate for
Yeah.
$1,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
Can you put ideas like that out?
That's
people?
what I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, just something generic, but we weren't sure, we wanted to make sure that it would be okay if we went out with something to that effect.
Yes, that's okay.
Like how many people look at the PTO Facebook, cause we can ask people for themes, like movie theme or winter theme.
Hit and miss, I'm not sure what they get for views, I don't know, like, I see everything, but I know he's always like, how do you see this stuff, it doesn't come from my feed, I think Facebook's algorithm is just.
Yeah,
Leery of
there
sending
is.
out like different themes because if you just get one item from one theme, I like that you just keep it at Winter Wonderland.
Something like generic,
So that
you know?
you can take what you get and make multiple baskets, cause if you just get something
Yeah.
from a movie theme
And I know,
then
like, some
15
parents
items
send in,
from
like,
another theme,
$5
you're gonna run into trouble making
whatever.
baskets
Yeah.
that are equal. Yeah, good idea.
I may be able to get somebody to play Santa. I'll let you know for sure, but when you say you need a Santa, I'm like, I got somebody. So I'll let you know.
Leslie, was it you that mentioned having to clean the suit or something? Or no, somebody had said that to me, but we don't have to do that, cause I asked.
Okay.
That was me.
Oh, I'm like.
Cause there was one time they
Oh,
said
that's
something
right.
about dry cleaning the suit,
Okay.
so she said just don't be naked in it and don't sweat.
Yeah.
Don't be sketchy about it.
That's what she said in the past today. Oh, sorry.
What's the date for the winter school?
December 14th.
And do you guys need do you need volunteers for that? Do we wanna send out, is there a part the teachers can play in it if they want to? Like,
I'm sure, oh yeah, I'm sure we'll need volunteers for the setup, possibly putting baskets together. If teachers wanna.
We definitely need one person watching the reindeer food.
I was just about to say that.
I did that last
That's
year.
the biggest thing I
One
heard.
reindeer food.
Yeah, when it's a free-for-all, kids do not pay attention to the, like, measurements.
So much glitter.
So much.
Don't do glitter.
Don't.
It's tinsel. You cut little, like the icicles, so you just cut them
Oh, that's a
apart.
good idea.
Custodians let us know.
That's funny.
That's smart.
The ice,
That
the
is smart.
icicles, right?
Icicles,
The
yeah,
stuff
you
that
cut
the cats,
icicles.
like,
The
you
cats.
No,
Yeah,
the icicles that melt on the,
Huh?
yeah, they get hot on the lights on the tree.
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
cats go and
Yeah,
chew
like
on
the
them and then you
plastic,
have to.
then you go
cut
like
those.
Easter eggs, yeah.
But we're gonna come with time.
So they'll choke.
I just wanted to say regarding, I'm not on that committee, as I said, but, if you need my services for flyers or whatever, I'm happy to do that. I just ask that you let me know as far as advance as you can, cause I'm like, I'm in a million different directions, but I'm willing to support that with my particular little piece, so
Yeah.
just let me
And
know.
we can put something on the, PTO page.
I'm sorry?
I'm sure we can put something on the PTO page, maybe
Mhm.
even about just the fact that we are asking families about
Mhm.
donations.
Yeah, anything, just shoot me an email or even just put it on that, in the group or whatever, but,
Mhm.
the sooner the better. I know that you're still getting plans together, but, I'm here to help as long as I can.
Yeah.
I've got a lot going on, that's all.
Thanks, John.
All right, Penny,
Yes.
your turn.
So the district at the high district level has a shared decision-making committee of their own, and this is a new initiative that they started. So they have one big one up there, and then they've asked every school to create one at their level. The purpose of it is to just look at your school, and to just have conversations. What are you seeing? What do you like? What are some things that you want? And you put on their teacher representatives, we have a parent representative, you can put on a community, support staff, students. So we have two fifth grade student and a fourth grade student in hopes that the fourth grade student will grow and be the fifth grade student next year, and so that's the role that they play. We had our first meeting, and we're learning as we go. We did a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of what we thought. We're here at Seneca Street, we had good conversation. The kids decided that what they thought was most important to them was having after-school clubs. We run into an issue because we don't have late buses, and we also don't have staff to man those clubs, so we have to get creative. They were so amazing. They came in and had lunch with me, and they created a survey, and then they went around to it was indoor recess that day, it was raining, and they went around to all the grade levels and did a survey. What kind of clubs would you like? What days are good for you? So they really stepped up and took that role. We talked a little bit about scheduling, but scheduling is something that is a decision that's made more at an administrative level. So we're really trying to figure out what topics are appropriate. Cindy has a great idea that she's gonna bring to the next meeting that was talked about after, with subs and stuff like that. So that's just kind of where it's going. People are, just talking about things. It's a problem solving, putting your heads together. Anyone is welcome to come and listen. Minutes, finally, I've been learning as I go how to work the website. So the other day, the link to the PTO is now out there under parent resources, and shared decision-making is out there also. So the minutes will always be posted. And it's just a thing as we go. Constituents get that information out. I'm gonna put a little blurb Linda suggested in the December newsletter, just to let everybody know that this is a committee that's been formed here. Colleen is our parent rep, and so I thought the best avenue to share a lot of the information would be right here at PTO. So this is a good place to kind of share every month what was talked about at that meeting. And then teachers, of course, will get back to teachers and we'll get that information out there.
Can I just, say something quickly? Regarding the actual plan itself, the shared, the district plan, as a parent, I'm very interested in being involved in anything to do with decisions being made at school. So I was curious about it. I did look up the plan. It's still not readily available, but I was able to dig it out of the Board of Education agenda. So I took that, and it's on our PTO website. So if anyone is curious about the actual, I I guess, the policies that
Yes,
guide
it was
this
drafted
committee.
this summer, yes.
It's all there. and
Drafted
it's
this
just-
summer and then board approved.
It's just to inform parents.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is important to know is that if you do attend the meeting, and I hope a lot of parents do, but it's not, the committee discusses, but we are just observers, so we don't speak. But we can, like, we would go through Colleen if we had issues, that we wanted her to bring to the attention of the committee. But we are able to go and listen in and see what it's like. But all of that's in here. It's very interesting, so it's on our website under news if you're curious about it. So, and as the PTO communications person, anything that I can do to help disseminate information, I'm happy to help with that.
And I believe that this is something that has trickled down from New York State. So every district is now mandated to have this kind of shared decision-making at the whole district level and then trickling down into the schools.
Penny, when did you say the next meeting is?
Oh, the next meeting is,
Sorry, put you on the spot.
it's actually on your calendar that was mailed out to you.
Okay, I can check on there.
I think it's the last
26th or
Monday.
something.
Okay.
Monday the 26th.
I think it's the
It's
26th.
I think it's the last Monday.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's now open for,
No,
go ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
The dates that you gave out for the Seneca Street PTO.
Yeah.
There are 2 dates that, Crazy Hair Day and Inside Out Day.
Mhm.
I believe we are not in session. March 15th, it's a Friday, we have a superintendent conference day, I believe. And April,
Could
Friday
be.
the 12th, we do not have school because our vacation is from the 12th to the 22nd, unless I am
Okay.
incorrect in that.
It could be. I had gone off of
So we need to-
popcorn dates, but
I'll fix
well,
those,
we'll
yeah.
we can just
So even
move
if we
those
did,
to the
like,
day
Inside
before.
Out Day- Or
So we-
Inside Out Day to Thursday the 11th, and then Crazy Hair Day, the 14th of March possibly, but
Yeah.
as I was writing them into my calendar as we.
Okay, we can always move them to the
What
day
was
before
March,
that.
Karen, did you
March
say?
15th was Crazy Hair Day, and it's, says it's the
Yep.
15th, but we have a superintendent conference day, I think.
I don't. I just went off of the one the list you had given me, so that's fine.
March
Well,
14th.
the March one could be the one time that maybe we could coincide it with Dr. Seuss's birthday.
Mm,
You should dress like your favorite
That
Dr.
is-
Seuss character.
that's a
March
good.
2nd.
That's a good
Are we
idea.
in school March 2nd? Does anyone know that?
No, it's
No, it's a Saturday.
Well, just that general week we usually celebrate.
I just know because it's my son's birthday. I
So
did
do you
the
do the
house
week
every year
before, or
and
do you do the week after? Do you celebrate the week before or the week after?
We would have to look at the camera, not camera, the calendar, because I don't usually follow whatever the testing schedules and whatever stuff the
Yeah.
teachers have going, so I would defer that to Penny to decide if we do it
Well,
the
I'm
week
gonna
before.
defer it to my K1 teachers because they're the ones that will actually be celebrating it more and talking about it. Like Dr. Seuss.
Can we do both? I mean, Crazy Hair Day is nothing major, and just do Dr. Seuss when Dr. Seuss is available.
So, like March 1st, because his birthday is
The
the
Friday
2nd?
before.
The Friday
Yeah.
before.
That'd be
Dr.
perfect.
Seuss is crazy.
I think we totally should
I
do
mean, it
Dress
makes
Like Your
sense,
Favorite.
Yeah.
Because we had a snow day last year, and I
Oh,
had my
no.
costume all set. I didn't get to wear
Yeah.
it, so.
Yeah, it was so cool. We had a big cake. We had everything ready, and it was a snow day. So we came back and we had to eat cake on Monday, which wasn't as great as eating it on Friday, but still.
So March 1st, Dr. Seuss Day.
Yes. Sounds good.
That Friday.
So no crazy hair that day or that month, or we're gonna do crazy hair on the 14th? Are we doing 2? 1. No crazy hair on the 14th, just crazy outfits.
Well, do you wanna do it, cause I don't think grades 3, maybe not even second, I don't know if second does, but 3, 4, and 5 don't really do Dr. Seuss. Do you wanna do K1 Dr.
They
Seuss
still
Day
might
to
want
everybody
it.
else?
I think we should.
We've got
Dress up.
Annie
Yeah.
McKay.
Yeah,
She
they do
wants
like to
do
dress
the
up.
So you wanna
whole-
do the whole, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Annie McKay, I
Uh-oh.
hear that she dressed up like
Cindy's
Cindy
making a
Lou Lou.
face.
I know. She's a pretty big teacher.
You can be one fish.
I've never had anybody.
One
I'll
fish,
be
just
the-
wear a
I'll be
fish,
Cindy
one
Lou.
fish. There you go.
Well, parents with older kids, do you think that your older kids would?
I think
There's
Raylin
the-
would,
there's
for
the
sure.
one. Yeah. I mean, even if it's not
Yeah.
like.
Raylan will use
overboard
any
or
excuse to
whatever.
dress up.
Yeah,
Very
it's a
much.
good idea. Other questions, concerns, comments?
I have a question.
Yeah.
As the parent of a graduate from Seneca Street and the high school and everything, I just wanted to make sure that it was in the budget for the graduate, for the
Scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. We had gotten together as the board and done, talked about like after the fun run is done and we've got then of planning out the rest of the year and what we can do. But that's definitely on the list.
That's
Yep.
that's
Yep.
a not optional
Right,
one that
exactly.
in our
That
opinion
was
that was
not a-
something that needed to
Right.
make
We just haven't
sure.
looked that for, we were just gonna wait until this month was over and then set through the budget for like the rest of the year and
Does
get it
every
approved.
school do one or two?
Two.
Yeah.
There's
But
yeah.
one's a faculty one, right, and one's, I think, right.
So you take donations from faculty for one and then.
No,
it's
it's,
PTO money, it's how it's chosen.
right,
The
it's,
faculty
Oh,
determines-
but the money comes from PTO for both scholarships.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
right.
Right,
Right.
Danielle. Am I
Sorry,
don't mean to
I'll-
put you
I'll
on the
follow
spot.
with me.
Just
What?
we are funding both of the scholarships for the high school.
Yep.
It is ours.
Yeah,
From
what
us.
they'll do, which I was astonished, I had no idea. They're gonna send you all of the essays
Yeah.
to read,
Yeah.
and the teachers pick one and you pick one.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
Right.
the board, which there's
Right.
Yeah.
two of
They
us.
anonymously send us the essays
Right.
and we read them.
And usually
you
a
don't
few
have an
teach,
official dollars for scholars committee that. Oh, really?
and usually like 2 or 3 teachers volunteer to do it for the year and for our part, and then the PTO does
I
the
think
other.
last year we all
Yeah.
did it, well, that was
Yeah,
nice.
I like that.
Yep. It's neat to see who was here and where they've gone. Yep.
Is there a list of, or a budget for the year of all the items the PTO plans on?
We do not have
financing?
one yet because we didn't have, with starting with only the $500 that we had. We have not, we haven't set to spend anything yet because.
So
Go ahead.
There's
Sorry.
yours from
Go ahead.
last year.
So from last year,
From
we have already had to start the year knowing that we had to pay for the painter that came in. So that was money that we had to have. The merry-go-round theater, that's already begun, so we have to pay for that. So that's a large portion of what we currently have. So beyond that and scholarships, and I feel like there was something else that we talked about, those are the things that we have to pay for. So we're not planning.
Oh, and we had talked about also something that was kind of a must is doing something for the 5th grade moving up, just because it's always
Yes.
been something that they do something for the 5th graders who are leaving.
I just
Whatever it is, but
It
something.
might be helpful to see, because we see the income side
Right.
of everything.
We
coming
just
in,
we
to
haven't,
see,
I know.
Well, to that though, I can at least write up what we know we have to pay for,
Right,
so
that
that
would
we
be
can
good.
see
Sure.
how much it
Yeah.
costs,
Definitely.
what we're required to pay, things that we feel are not an option,
Yep.
like the
things we need
scholarships.
to do, things we want
Are
to
wants.
do, or
Right.
Yep.
really nice.
And we
things
started
love
listing
to
those
do.
kind of things, but we were just going to wait till the month was over and then like
But I
December
can-
1st.
Yeah, I can have that for next time after
Yeah,
we have got
definitely.
the fun run money, and we can say
Yep.
this is what we have now. These are requirements. These are what we want, and kind of go from there.
Okay.
I'll still make sure I write that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions, concerns?
So the December meeting's when they're gonna be voting for the.
So for the opening for the president, yep, if anyone's interested in running for that, there is a deadline of November 22nd is the 2 weeks before, if you're interested in putting in your name. And then the vote would be on the December meeting. And I know that we have at least one person who's interested, and then beyond that, anybody can put in whatever they want. So, and if you want more information or anything, you can contact any one of us. And
We did
And
put
give it-
on our website again. We
Yeah.
try and put everything on there
Mhm.
to be very transparent, but we do have a list of the roles now and descriptions based on the bylaws, but it's just kind of simplifies it because the bylaws are a little
Wordy.
dry and legal sounding. So we we pulled it out and described it in case whether for this opening or even for next year, anyone's interested, you can kind of see what the role entails.
Should we contact the board or Penny?
it would be us, yeah.
It would be
Yeah.
more-
only thing is, I guess I would ask of you guys is how can we get parents more involved in PTO? Those of you that have been in the school for a while, you know, like we were saying, you know, only so many people see our Facebook page, only so many people seek out our webpage. You know, not that we're asking them to come and take on a role specifically, but we'd like to hear their voice. We'd like to know, you know, the same with teachers. I mean, there's more teachers here that I'm extremely excited to see. I'm a new parent in this district. I have a 5-year-old, so this is the first for me. But, you know I want to be involved in what my child does, and I want to be able to be excited right alongside him as he goes. So I want to know how we can touch other parents and get them, you know, excited as well as we are, you know, and other teachers as well as we are. You know, I'd like to know, you know, what teachers think that we as a PTO need to be doing or should be doing or have done in the past that worked well or didn't work well. I mean, this is our opportunity starting from the bottom to build this and help our school and help our community. You know, we need to be proud of who we are. But we can't do that with just, I mean, we can do it with just the few of us, but the bigger army we have, the better we will be as a school.
Last year we had a meeting and we were talking about the idea of pairing a teacher with a parent to take on a role. And my little chocolate bar friend had talked about, you know, say, hey, you know what, let's go ahead and do like a chocolate bar fundraiser or whatever, and it kind of relieves the burden of, you know, like just spreading it out. And the idea of requesting, like I think we talked about a flyer of here's all the things that PTO has done, and you don't have to be a board member, you can just take on and then make a list of all the simple little things and send it home that way. That's where we had left off.
Yeah.
Was it last
I think
spring?
everybody sees this as, oh my gosh, it's so much time and they have to come to every meeting. They don't have to come to every meeting. You guys have all of the stuff online. But if they can know that, you know what, I'm gonna be in charge of one little piece, or I'm somebody that they can call when they need cookies or whatever. That kind of thing, or I think just knowing that it doesn't have to be so big. And I think you guys feel like it has to be big because there are so few, but I think that it doesn't have to be.
And we do have,
start small.
and we do have one of the biggest volunteer lists I've ever seen. I mean, we have, what do we have on there? It's
I think we were around 35.
Right, which is nice, just of people who, when I've been looking for even things like the fun run, that's who I contacted. Quick, you know, send a message, you want to come work in the, you know, for the day, just to see if, so I mean, we do have a lot of volunteers, but it would be nice to have more.
Do they specify like what their
They did.
expertise are?
Right,
And, you
they
know,
did.
I can help them
Yep.
this way and
Yep.
that way.
And we had, I mean, we had a few people that it really brings to mind the different situations we have, but we've had people that are like, I would love to help when I'm not working one of my 2 jobs. And it's like, you know, thank you. And that's so nice of you to even try. But we do have people in that situation that are really trying very hard to provide for their families. They don't have a lot of time. Their voices are important, their opinions are important, so it's how do you reach them. And
That's the big reason we did Facebook Live too, is
That
to
was
reach
a
those
very good
parents
idea.
that maybe
That
work
helps,
multiple
yeah.
jobs and they don't have the ability to be here, or it just doesn't time-wise work for them.
I think as far as building a community, you know, reaching out to the parents that your children, you know, you're gonna be with them all the way up until high school. So calling and making play dates and talking to parents. You know, let's have a 2nd grade play date. We're all going to rock and jump and, you know, come, let's all meet. You know, send out an email you have, you know, with a class directory. You can do it that way and make those connections, I think, will be great.
I share one from my girls' school, at the beginning of the year, what they did was the PTO sent out a letter, cause they were also trying to go paperless, and they asked all the parents to, they gave a code, I'd have to look up what website they used, but they gave everybody a code, and they said, go there, put your code in, and put your email in, and then, like, you'll be registered, and at that same place, you could also sign up what things you wanted to volunteer for. So I signed up like right before school ever started what I wanted to volunteer
It's a
for.
good idea.
And then they also write up front, cause they know like some people would rather just give the money because that's the best that they can do, cause they're crunched for time. So they asked donations right up front and said like, can you just give money right now? And I know that I'm always distracted, so that was one of the things that I did. But I mean, even if we don't wanna get into a whole, system like that, one of the things that you guys did 2 years ago, that was really helpful was the Remind app. And I don't know if we wanna get into something like that again, because whether the Facebook reaches them or not, like the Remind app, like it sends out the notification right away, or text, or however you set up your notification, it's in your face.
I think that that was very successful. I mean, we didn't have a huge list of people on there, but a lot of people do. They only use their phones these days. They don't use computers. So I can see that being helpful. We do have this year I did something different when I handle the directory that we send out, and I automatically added everyone's email to our PTO email list. So we have over 130 email addresses, which is pretty good. I don't know what percentage of parents that would work out to be, but it's a decent amount. So maybe that's another thing, is to utilize email more. Right now it kind of is just, if we post something to the website, it automatically gets sent to their email, but maybe we could use it more for direct communication, like reminders, there's a meeting, or asking survey questions, or who knows. That might be
It's a good idea.
The only thing with the Remind app is that you just have to get their permission to use their number, because we did just have something happen at the district level.
Right.
That
yes,
he was in a meeting and it was a call, but was not happy that
we
thought it was an emergency.
Our directory form is essentially a permission slip, and we do not like, for example, for the fun run, when we were using the website, we asked permission for that as well, because we understand that.
And I'm sure many people would give it to you. I would just hate for you to send out a reminder and have somebody call here and say, I don't know why I'm getting all these text messages.
I was looking at the district policy, and I don't want to run afoul of any of that, so I'll be very careful about that.
And then do they post to Peach Jar?
I don't think Peach Jar gets used as much as we would like it to. There's a lot of great information that goes out there from even just Oneida, like things to do for the, for kids to participate in. I know the library utilizes it, like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and all of those, but I don't think when we look at the activity on there that it actually gets utilized much at all. And I'm not sure why, because I'm not familiar with Peach Jar. It was my first time being exposed to it.
It's funny, I go there when I forget.
I use it all the time.
I think it's because it's not on your phone.
Yeah.
You have to like go somewhere to go to it, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, they want snubs again. I'm like, I know.
Because I get an email from my district and an email from Oneida whenever there is Peach Jar, and I always look because I never know if it's gonna apply to me or not. Because again, our district has been trying to go paperless, so if I don't check my notifications, I'm not going to know.
I think sometimes too, I think we do a pretty good job of notifying parents when meetings are and how to go to meetings, how to get there. I think people are inundated with that information, but maybe if we put some of our goals out there to families, like we're holding this event for this purpose, this is what it's gonna do for your child.
Right.
We wanna do this field trip, this is how you can raise money to give back, and this is how it's gonna benefit the school. Maybe if they understood what you're doing it for, that will help participate.
You guys did that with the fun run, it sounds.
Yeah.
I think that's great, because then your child can take that to their family and they can say, this is, will you donate it to me because this is why. So sometimes the why gets lost.
Because I mean we're stewards of parent money, and it's very important, I think, that they know how it's going to be spent, and it does encourage involvement too.
you know, we wanna take the fifth graders here and we
Mhm.
wanna bring this guest speaker, we wanna bring this author in,
Mhm.
and this is how we can do that. Please
Mhm.
donate to this, and this.
Yeah, I agree.
I think parents would be more likely to
And
help.
that's where
Yeah.
the budget will help a lot too,
Mhm.
once, you know, in the future, but we're kinda like
So
starting.
you guys are
from
just kind of
scratch,
waiting
so.
until you.
Well, we don't
Before
have
we
money
know
to
what-
spend at this point.
Right.
So it's kind of like to put it all down of what we want to
We're in a
spend.
tricky situation, but we're getting there.
I do like the idea though, to let us know
Mhm.
what you plan for it for.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's nice to have an idea of what it is you're trying to reach as
Yep.
opposed to this is just
Yep.
how much can we make from
Yeah,
this.
and we also want to end the year with a certain amount to start next year because we're not starting again. Like we can't start every year like
Negative.
trying to get money. So we're trying to end at a certain amount. So next year we're starting at that amount. We can raise a little bit, but we have money to spend already.
I think it would be
That's-
helpful too, like last year, to know that you were $60 away. That's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Because how many people would have said, "I'll buy $10 worth of books just to get us there."
Mhm.
And so I think if we almost have something showing how close, right? How close are we
They're
to this
tricky, they
goal?
didn't tell me till after the fact.
Yeah, I was wondering, I don't think it was you, yeah, I think. it
But
was
anything
them
like that, I mean, as
telling
much
you.
information as we can have.
Cause I would put that $60
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Thermometer thing.
Yeah.
For the website, because I love visuals like that, and it really, it makes you excited, like, oh, we're almost there, and,
Yeah.
and yeah, I totally agree. It's hard, like, even as a parent, from my perspective, you're more inclined to give money when you know it's going to a good purpose, and if someone's just like, okay, we need $10,000, like, why?
For what?
And
Yeah.
why isn't it there
Yeah.
right now? I mean, what, you know, it's like, so the transparency is very
Mhm.
helpful.
I mean, when you told my child that you were sending the fifth graders on a field trip to the Spencil Buddies, I mean, she spent
Oh my
$200 last year on Spencil Buddies. She ripped 3 backpacks from them hanging off the book bag. So I mean, I think if you tell the kids what
Mhm.
what
Yeah.
they're buying
Mhm.
things for, they'll
Mhm.
go home and they'll tell their families.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
We need to do
Mhm.
this, and it helps. It does
Mhm.
help. The purpose is important. So
Yeah.
Maybe,
I
I mean, for some of the class trips, since we're at ground zero, maybe some of the kids might want to take ownership somehow if we're like, we're going to point A and this is what I need, cause like second grade does their, bake sale and, I'm not sure, like, if we have any parent representatives from each classroom, cause that was one of your ideas too, but then that's kind of falling by the wayside as more parents get
Right.
into the
Yeah.
workforce.
There's a class parent, like a room parent for almost every classroom, but not quite every classroom had one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say with the directory, like, they should at least probably be here, or have some information on it, because if you get a text from somebody, like another teacher, it's more
Mhm.
personal than just scrolling past a Facebook post.
Mhm.
So there should definitely be some representation of those class parents.
Yeah.
here.
And we've tried to, I've been trying like a week before, trying to send a reminder about, here's PTO meeting coming up, can you come? I've tried to feel people out of trying, if I run into them and say, oh, you coming? Yeah, but I don't
It's
know.
almost got a stigma to it.
Mhm.
PTO, you're gonna end up
Get roped
stuck
into something,
doing
yes,
things.
yeah.
And I can say this,
Yeah.
after, Madeline's in 4th grade, this is probably the most people that have been to a PTO meeting in a long time.
Mhm.
Really, I mean, this
Consistently
year,
this year.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
This
Yeah,
year.
'cause there was a period of like
There were
2
only 2
or
of us
3
that would come.
years when it would mostly be teachers here and not parents.
Last year, we had multiple meetings, it was just me, Kim Sheedy, and the principal.
Right.
That was it.
And the year before, I mean, when I first started coming, and it was because Linda asked me, I'd never gone to a PTO meeting, and I was oftentimes the only parent other than her, and she's a teacher as well, so it was pretty sad. And I thank everyone
Yeah.
for coming. It's just amazing to see the turnout now, and I hope we can.
Oh, I thank all of you for working so hard,
Totally.
because all of you are obviously working very hard at this, so I as a
Thanks.
parent, thank you for that.
I think also we get caught up in how much money we have to raise, and I
Yeah,
understand
I
that.
feel like that's where we are.
That is not helping anything right now to make it feel like we have to fundraise, we have to fundraise. I think we're
Yeah.
tapped, like, if I have to send one more thing home with my kids in the classroom, I'm serious, it's anxiety for me, because they don't have it. And
So-
I think that,
Can I just say something to that though? For any of you teachers, we don't know that. So unless you're telling us that, we can't fix that. We can't stop sending those
I don't know
papers
how to
home.
tell you that.
But just like that,
I
because
send
it's
us a
not
message. I don't do Facebook.
Or
email.
The email. There's email on all of our emails are on the, they're all
But
on
I
the
mean,
page.
We have to change the climate
Yes.
first before we can like
But we
throw
need-
all
I mean,
of this money
we're in
out.
a tough situation. We need money unless
To
people
pay
don't
for
want
what?
assemblies. People don't want.
Well, we're hoping eventually to pay for the field trips. I mean, and like I said, we could put
But
we had
that's
gone through.
gravy.
Yeah.
To me, that's gravy. That's
Yeah.
the stuff on top of. You have to kind of build your base first, and I
Yeah.
think that's where we need to start with, like the fun things. You know, the winter social. Start with that. That's almost free.
You want to
the
get
fun
people in
run,
the door.
That, you know, that's fun.
So what we talked about today
building
was sending a survey to the teachers and asking you those things. What do you see that is not happening? What do you want us to do? And you don't have to put your name on it, but that's the only way we can get feedback from you guys.
Yeah, we
is-
had that a couple years ago, and then everything kind of changed. So that would be helpful.
But for us, because we are starting fresh, I mean, this is my first time being involved. You can have my cell phone number if you want, and you can text me when you have a problem, or any of you, or call me, but we can't fix anything and we can't build this if you guys are not all on board with us, and us with you. We have no middle ground. We have no starting space. So we are going to draft that survey for you guys so that you can fill it out. But I also think we need to send it to parents too and say, what did you used to do that you felt was successful and you want to bring back, or vice versa? Something we're doing right now, like sending home extra letters. We don't have to keep doing that. I mean, we have a purpose for it, but if it's that big of a problem, we would rather stop than alienate you guys as teachers, because we need you on board. We need you guys.
Nobody's ever said anything to me with my kindergarten parents saying they're getting over-papered.
But that too, like if you know that there's students in your classroom that they cannot afford it or their parents can't, I'm going to try to touch base with you guys. If we need to send something home and say, do you know something about these kids that we're not getting forms back from? That way we don't have to keep sending it to them. You're going to know a little bit better than we are that particular child's in a rough situation at home, and that mom or dad doesn't need to get that letter every day. So like little things like that, if you have any tips, we'd love them so that we can make it better.
Can I just add to? I think it's add to the communication aspect. Having experience being a new officer with no prior experience, I think the default attitude is just to look at what the school has always done, seeing it kind of as tradition, and just kind of presuming that people want to continue that. And that it's a lot of pressure to be faced with not having that money and thinking, I've got to fund these field trips, it's always been done. I've got to fund this assembly, it's always been done. It's not, the drive for money isn't purposeful, it's just that trying to keep up the expectations. So if there if there are things that you view as extras that aren't necessary, that's another thing to let the board know, because they gladly access and take some of this fundraising burden off. We would, I think, gladly do without that aspect of it, because it is very stressful trying to earn several $1,000s and hit the ground running in the beginning of the year. So
Well, and it's as much work for us. I mean, I feel like we're
I
like
can't
right,
even
like as
tell
much
you.
as
I
like the
can't
papers
tell
going
you.
home and stuff. But I also, I mean, like the amount of time that we're spending organizing the fundraiser and running the fundraiser and contacting the parents. I mean, I've been on the phone nonstop trying to for the fun run to try to who can come and can you come, and it's a lot of work to do that.
Talking like, do we really need to fund the field trips for the whole school? I mean, we were felt like a little guilty. Like, can we get away with saying that parents might have to pay that because it's something that's always been there, and you know, it's just the starting point. We presume that we,
or do they just not go?
that's expected of us.
Everybody has it.
You know, if there's anything that can go away, let them know.
Do the teachers typically meet on, like, as a group, or do you, I don't know how?
We don't have a lot of time to meet, but we do
Once
once
a
a month.
month.
Yeah.
But there's always an agenda and
Yeah, it's basically staff.
we don't really get to
related.
chat.
I just didn't know if that was a good time for you guys all to put your heads together and say, this is important to us and our students, this is not, and.
Well, that's what our building committee used to be.
Okay.
But I
But
mean,
we're
some
not
of
doing
that
that
stuff, we can even communicate via email, I think.
Amongst you, yeah, I mean,
but
yeah.
sending out
Okay, so what
surveys
about in
among
the
ourselves.
survey? If we sent out the survey and we put the wish list that we had kind of come together as a board saying, here's what we would like to put back in if we get the money. And then teachers said, well, these would be a priority or these would not.
Number them.
Do you think that would, or, I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways to,
Yeah, I mean,
other than us deciding
I
what's
just
important.
worry that, you know, if there's, I don't, how many teachers are in our school? 30?
There's 30 some odd staff.
We have a lot of
Yep.
traveling.
Okay, so, I think, like, I just worry that if each teacher says, well, I think this is important, and I think this is important, we could potentially end up with 30 different things, as opposed to being able to narrow it down to, like, 3 things that are most important. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you guys all put your
I would
heads
say
together.
we're more on the same wavelength.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
think
I
we
would
would
think so
go
too.
that
Like
far apart.
10.
And then also, I think there has to be a compromise between what we've always done and the budget that we have now.
Right,
So like,
right.
we don't wanna take away everything, but maybe if there's a field trip somebody really wants to go to, instead of the PTO fully funding it like they used to, it'd be a situation where the kids can give part, PTO can give part, and then, like Cindy said, we know the kids that we feel bad about sending letters home because we're just making that kid feel bad, cause we know that they can't turn it, like, we can come up with situations where we can get more PTO money for those type of children, but it wouldn't be like 100% burden on PTO or on the families.
Right, paying for 10 kids is gonna be a lot easier than paying for 110 kids.
Right.
I've always been more than welcome to pay for my children to go wherever.
And so that's the other thing
Field
that.
trips are the most amazing memories I have from when I was in
Me too.
elementary school, you know?
So that's the other thing that we can put on there is, will you donate for families that can't, and something that says I can't or I don't want to pay for this for my child, and saying I decline that rather than I can't might be a little bit softer for a parent to say, and that's fine. Some of the teachers are probably going to know that they can't rather than they really don't want their kid to go on that field trip, and then we know that we are at least getting feedback, so we don't have to try to reach out to those people multiple times, and people that are willing to donate more for an extra field trip or something is going to cover a lot of those kids.
Good office supply did that with school supplies.
Yeah.
They got families to sponsor
Yeah.
a kid
Yeah.
by their school supplies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are willing to do it if you put
Right.
it out there and ask.
Yeah.
Cause like for our first meeting, I think Diana was saying that like there's certain parents, you know, would rather have a field trip and help other kids than have no field trip.
Absolutely.
Right. I was just thinking that when, the discussion with like teachers meeting together and how do you sift through the ideas and stuff, it seems like that would be a good fit for the shared decision making because the framework is already there, like there is a teacher rep and they're supposed to gather ideas and kind of, it seems like something that would apply to that really well because it affects student education.
To talk
Just
about
an
like
idea.
what ideas teachers would want to see
For funding,
PTO
I mean,
fund.
In order to kind of narrow it down into a package to bring to the board, I guess, I don't know. It just seems like the framework is there to work through that without having to add yet another committee or another meeting for the teachers. Just an idea.
Well, also, we have to remember if it's financial, the students are also on the shared committee. So,
Anything else before we wrap it up? I know Melissa has to get home. Melissa Kringer, sorry. Not you, sorry.
I have to make a motion.
All right, we'll make a motion.
Motion to
to end.
adjourn.
All right, thank you for coming. Take the